One time I was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I was with a church out of Memphis, Tennessee. This church out of Memphis, Bellevue was the name of the church, had taken about 450, 500 teenagers and college students and had brought them to Gatlinburg for this like 3-day retreat. And they had taken over this like Comfort Inn. Just about every single room at this Comfort Inn was basically this one youth group, and they had rented this one room downstairs and all 500 would cram in there. And I was their preacher for the few days. And the last morning of the event, we were finished with this event. The last morning of the event, my wife and I are leaving the event. So we were on the very top floor. We get our bags, our little roller bags. We get in the elevator. We're the only two in the elevator. The event's over. We're about to leave. And we get in the elevator, and the elevator goes down one level, and the door opens up, and this cleaning lady comes on. I knew she was the cleaning lady because she had the cleaning lady apron on, and the cart, right? And so she comes in with the cart, and she turns around, faces the door, so we can't see her face, but like my wife and I are in the back, right? The cart's between us, and she's there, but we can tell that she's crying because even though she's not looking at us, we can hear her. She's going, and her shoulders are going like this. And so it's obvious that she's emotional. So the elevator's going down and down, and it's going down. We realize this lady is in this elevator with us, with the only 3 in here, right? And she's crying. And so my wife mouths to me really quickly, since she couldn't see us. She goes, "She's crying." And I mouth back, "I know." And she mouths to me, "Say something." And I look at her like, why wouldn't you say something? Because honestly, she's so much better than me in these moments. I've done the spiritual gift tests and all that. I know my giftings. I'm like a salesman for God, all right? I'm a vision, voice, and values kind of guy, all right? I'm a culture builder, and all that to say, like, I'm loud, but I'm not a good counselor. If you like come up to me in a little while and you're like, "We're going through a divorce," I'll be like, "Gum." I'm just bad, all right? So why would I, when you have like her, she is insane. My wife is a shepherd. My wife is so good at counseling. And so she's looking at me like, "Say something." And I'm looking at her like, "Say something." And the elevator's going further down, further down, further down. And so I realize we're about to lose this moment. So between the second and the first floor, before we lose, just out of panic, I reached around the cart and I just pull. You know how all the buttons in an elevator are push except that one red one in the bottom? The pull. And this is before September 11th, when Iranians could do stuff like that and get away with it. Right? But so I pull. And so as soon as I pull, the elevator just stops, and she's startled. The cleaning lady's startled. So she turns around, and I said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry to startle you." I said, "I'm so sorry." I said, "This is my wife, Jennifer. We just noticed you were crying, and we didn't want to get out of this elevator. We just thought, I know it's crazy, but we just thought we'd pause. And I just want to ask, ma'am, are you okay? Is there anything we can do?" And as soon as I said that, before I could even finish the sentence, she interrupts. She goes, "Are you with these people that have taken over this hotel for the past 3 nights? Are you with this church group? Are you with them?" And I thought, one more person in the service industry brought to tears by a youth group gone wild, And so I just said, "No, ma'am," because because I was just their guest speaker. I'm not even with y'all. I'm just a dude with a green card, hoping to stay, all right? So I go, "No, ma'am, I'm not with them." She goes, "Can I just ask you, you've been here with them the last couple of days?" And before I could even finish, she goes, "What is wrong with them?" She goes, "I've never seen anything like it." She goes, "I'm sorry to be emotional, but I just came to work today and I found out they're leaving. And can I just tell you, these are the craziest people I've ever seen." She goes, and she reaches in her apron, and she pulls out this wad of cash, and she goes, "Look at this." She goes, "This is like $1,100 in tips." And she goes, "That's just from today. Yesterday was like $800 in tips. And it's not just me, it's all the cleaning ladies." She goes, "We're all just dumbfounded. For the first time ever, people want shifts that they're not even supposed to be at because they want to be around these kids for the past 3 days." She goes, "I don't know why they're even tipping us." She goes, "We haven't made one bed. We walk in the rooms, the beds are made, the towels are hanging. It's like we've had a week off." And she goes, "It's just been crazy." And she goes, "And I'm sorry to be emotional, but I just found out they're leaving." And she goes, "Listen, a minute ago, I just walked in a room with a bunch of senior high boys, and they sat me down, and one of them offered to rub my feet, and I've got bunions." I'm like, "You don't have to show me, lady." And she goes, "And they knew my name." She goes, "I didn't even have my name badge, and they learned my name." Like, I'm not a worker, I'm a human being. She goes, and I'm just sorry to be emotional, but I just found out they're leaving, and I don't want them to leave. And before she could finish, I interrupted her, and I said, before we go any further, I just want to clarify, I am actually with them. And she goes, oh, you're with them? She goes, can I just ask you, what's wrong with them? She goes, all we get around here are church groups week after week. All we get around here are Christians week after week. I've just never seen it. You know what she doesn't know she's doing? She's literally saying to us, she doesn't have the lingo down, right? But she's literally saying to us, I see Christians every week, but I'm kind of dumbfounded because these are Christians that are Christ-like. These are believers that are believable. She's actually literally saying to me, hey, here's another way to put it. She's initiating the gospel conversation with us. And so my wife finally speaks up. She finally looks at her and she goes, I can tell you exactly what's wrong with them. She goes, Jesus is the matter with them. And she goes, what do you mean? She goes, what you're seeing is like, I know these are not typical teenagers. She goes, these are not natural teenagers, they're supernatural teenagers. The reason they know your name is because God knows, their name. The reason they value you is because God values them. The reason you're important to them is because you're important to God. The reason, and see, my wife just starts boom, 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 and she just turns into Beth Moore right there, and my wife starts just pouring in her, and the next thing she's asked a few more questions, and literally between the second and the first floor, we led this lady to the Lord. And the elevator goes down, and the elevator door opens up. She walks out. We walk out with her. The youth group kids are out there, and they're like, hey, what's up, Rhonda? And I'm like, Rhonda just got saved. And we just have a party in the lobby. And what am I telling you? I'm telling you is that for 3 days, they exuded the way of Jesus. And then for 3 minutes, we got to share in an elevator the truth. And then it brought life.
Hey, thanks for watching. To find out more about Houston's First, you can subscribe to our channel or you can go to houstonsfirst.org.